Hi, Jenny here again. First of all, my apologies for my voice today because my throat is not feeling well. So my voice may be cracked. So please bear with me. And many people may complain about my English, but English is not my first language. So I will be grateful if you be patient with it. Okay, so first of all, let me ask you a question. So what is the solid and stable structure in the world? Rectangle, square, or pentagon, hexagon, or octagon? The answer is circle. Circle doesn't have a gap. It is the strongest structure in the world. You can find the structure of circle everywhere. So the circle itself is the strongest structure. So many buildings are built with the circle structure. The best example is the dome and arch. You can see it has a circle structure. It is solid and stable and is strong enough to sustain the heavy weight. You can also find the circle structure everywhere. For instance, the eggs, fruits, tornado, and the earth, and many more. Even the planets, the stars in the universe is circular. Therefore, circle structure represents the universe. So expressing the circle means expressing the universe. It's the same thing. And internal martial arts also represent circular movement. When you watch the demonstration of Tai Chi, Bagua, and Aikido, you can see they always move with a circular movement and flow as well. It is the law of the universe. Everything flows. Especially if you watch the Bagua or Aikido demonstration, you can find something in common between two martial arts. Tai Chi also have a circular movement, but it is a little bit different. The human body has a natural instinct to go to the opposite directions when they lost their balance, and internal martial arts use it very well. So when you watch the demonstration of Aikido, you can find out very clearly. When the students grab the master's arm, the master changes the direction this way and the opposite direction and opposite direction again, and several times. And that movement boosts the speed and accelerates the power. After several direction changes, the master throws the students on the floor. And if you watch the Bagua demonstration I uploaded, you can find out pretty similar movement, especially if you observe my abdomen, and you can see the power comes from it. That is the tail of the tornado. The power is generated in abdomen, and it makes a small circular movement, and it will be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So I can tell we use the power of a tornado. And if you train Yin-Yang Bagua, then you will be able to find out that you cannot practice slowly, because even if you started slowly, it's getting accelerated. And if you don't control it with your willpower, then your move will be very fast. That's why we practice meditation to control it. And You will also notice that the power also comes from the pelvis. By the way, the pelvis is a very important part in internal martial arts. I'll discuss it sometimes later. The biggest reason why we use the power of the circle is to use Hagang. Hagang means flowing power in Korean. I think it's probably Hua-Jing in Chinese. I'm not sure because I'm not a Chinese. And it can also be translated as Dutch in English. Now, if you watch the boxing on TV, you can see boxers dodge the opponent's punch. But it's pretty different from the Dutch. And of course, I will discuss it sometimes later as well. There are many theories. So anyways, it is similar to the spring of the toy. If you watch my Bagua demonstration video, you can find out that I change the direction left and right constantly. It is a similar procedure to winding the spring of the toy, and it accelerates power. So the Hagang is very important. Even if I say Hagang is the everything of internal martial arts, is not exaggeration, because as I said last time, one of the advantages of internal martial arts is that even small guy or a woman can fight against the big person. And Hagyang makes it possible, because if you fight against the big person, power to power, you cannot resist it. You will definitely be beaten. So we use the power of the opponent and power of the earth, and we combine together and return to the opponent. That is the core theory of the internal martial arts. That's why we don't need a big muscle. What you need is to make your body as a transfer. As I discussed last time, if the transfer is not solid and stable, then you cannot handle the power properly. Let me give you an example. So if your opponent attack you, you get the power and observe it, and you guide the power through your body to the earth, and the earth will return to your body, and then you will guide the power to the opponent again. So the direction of the power comes this way and this way, or this way to this way. So it also represents the circle. Especially if you add the power of the tornado, and the power will be boosted, then your opponent will get bigger damage. Okay, then let's talk about triangle. So we have theory about point, line, and surface. And I also discuss it sometimes later. We have so many theories is waiting for you. So the triangle is the most solid and stable structure besides the circle. If you have ever studied 3D modeling, you can see the basic structure is a triangle. You combine the thousands of triangles and make a polygon. And then you can make any kind of characters or buildings or object, whatever it is. So the triangle is the base structure of all kinds of structures. Especially if you begin to feel the leverage in your body, then you will be able to find many triangles in your body as well. For example, let's talk about standing form. When you stand on the floor, if you imagine there's a big triangle from your head to your both feet, so it makes a triangle. And when you imagine the triangle when you stand on the floor, you can feel your body is more rooted in the ground, like a tree. So you'll be able to feel your body is more solid and stable. So that is the first step. As I said earlier, you should make your body as a transfer. So make your body as a big triangle makes the transfer solid and stable. You can also test with your friends. So ask your friend to push your arm, and you just stretch your arm like that. But if you don't imagine anything, then the power will be very weak. However, if you imagine a triangle on your palm, your elbow, and your shoulder, so this is a triangle. If you imagine it strongly, and the structure will be very strong. And ask your friend what is different before and after. It will be definitely different. It is power of the imagination. Some people think it's a bullshit, but it really works. Once you experience it, you won't be able to deny it. So if you have a proper theory and train properly, then the power of the imagination will definitely work. It's fun as well. Once you experience this kind of things many times, then your view will be definitely changed for everything. And your mind will be also changed. Once you begin to training internal martial arts, you will get the power of electricity, or it may be called momentum. I'm not sure which one is correct in English, but I think it's a momentum is a proper term, I guess. Please let me know if I'm wrong. Anyways, so internal martial artists use the power of momentum. If you check the tensegrity structure, then it is also composed by many strokes. So stroke itself is not so strong, but once you make it as a structure, it has a power. It's the same as the umbrella or balloon. Umbrella and balloon also doesn't have so much power when it's fold, but when you open the umbrella, it immediately get the power. And balloon also doesn't have any kind of power, but once you blow the air in it, and it also have a power, so it can also bounce off some kind of little rock, something like that. The power of the internal martial arts is similar to them. So mastering the triangle structure in your body will give you the idea of the relationship among bones and muscle and angles and symmetry. So if you are a physician, it will be a very interesting topic for you. Even if you are not a physician, it will give you a pleasure to learn very unique theory. It will be mind-blowing theory. I also was surprised when I found it first time. Okay, let's call it a day, and I'll come back with a different topic next time. If you have any kind of inquiry or you want to share your experience, please leave a comment. Okay, see you next time. Bye.